All right, guys. So I mentioned in my last video, I wanted to do a video after we talked about Dragon Ball Project Multi and how to like sign up for it currently for the PC. I double checked because this is the day after. This is basically Monday. And I'm on the website and they still have not put up the App Store links yet. And so I'm guessing it's going to be more of like a day of thing, which I guess that might make more sense. I don't know. Either way, I will still do a separate video for the App Store for Apple at least, because I don't have an Android device to show it how to do it on that side. So just keep that in mind. I still do want to do that. But for this video, I do want to focus on the characters that they've announced so far and sort of how the game is shaping up to kind of work, right? We know it's a 4v4, right? Team-based thing. And so with these kinds of games, you're going to get different types of roles. So I do want to show, for example, we'll go with the first character here, and it's going to be Goku as a damage. And in fact, even before I jump into like what it's saying for each character kit, it says for Super Saiyan Goku, he's going to be a damage dealing type. But there's going to be other types, right? Krillin here is a technical type. And there's going to be another type. Let me see. Not Piccolo. Here we go. Zamasu. He's going to be a tank type. So I think these are like your main three types. And in this game, I think I mentioned it before, you obviously want to, have a team composed of different players who are using different like roles or different classes, however you want to say it. Or in fact, the game says it as a role. We'll say it as role. And so, you don't want to go into just all tanks. You want to have someone on the team that does like damage, right? For Piccolo, for example. And then you want to have at least a tank on your team, maybe two tanks, or, switch it up, maybe at least two damages, one tank, and then maybe at least one technical person. Or, maybe, I don't know. I've played, again, I've only really played Pokemon Unite. And so I've seen people run like weirder team setups, with their friends. And honestly, it all depends on the character and what they can do. But for example, I would always say, you want to have at least a team maybe that has like two DPSs, two damage dealing based units, and then maybe one technical, right, and one tank. I think it's always good to have a mix of both. And we'll go through kind of what makes them each unique and why they're, why is Krillin technical, why is Piccolo going to be damaged, right? And what was it? Who was the tank? I think it was Zamasu, right? And what makes him tank? So let's go ahead. Let's jump into the first character so far that we know about. And it's going to be Super Saiyan Goku. So it looks like this is like the passive like main ability, I guess, to a degree. And then the concept here is kind of just to like help summarize it just a little bit better and a little bit more of an easier way to get it. And so we'll go with Super Saiyan Goku, which I am curious how this game is going to do, how the game is going to do this. I'm just, because like, there's only like 50 million versions of Goku out there. So is it just one Goku that they add in? But from this, it kind of does look like it's going to be like, this is just going to be a Goku that can turn to Super Saiyan. And then there'll be a Goku that can turn into like, Super Saiyan God, right? There'll be a Goku that turns into Super Saiyan 2 and so forth and so forth. So I think that's how they're probably going to do it as like individual units. So jumping into this, for Super Saiyan Goku, he's going to be a damage dealing unit. Let me see. Oh, no, we don't want to put that through as I have the music played. There we go. So he's going to be damage dealing. He's going to have passive violent rage. Basically, temporary damage boost on enemy hero who recently defeated an ally. Increases target detection on target as well. So this sounds good. Increases target detection. I'm curious exactly what that might mean. Whether that means like attacks hit better, or maybe the rest of the team are just maybe more notified of the enemy's presence. Because keep in mind, right, everybody, it's 4v4. Not everybody's going to play together. I don't know. Like some people will spread out, right? I mean, it all depends on like how the match is going, right? You know that the direction of the match is going to be to collect the Dragon Balls. And so it could just be the fact that like, one player has like two, one player has three, or one player has one player has one. Who knows? We don't really know the actual specifics behind like, can you only carry one Dragon Ball? How exactly does that work? Do you return it back to your base? That's something that will have to be explored like when the game actually drops and we can explain that better. But for now, right, I'm going into super extra like, descriptions of stuff that we're not too sure about. For Violent Rage, again, it's a temporary damage boost on an enemy hero who recently defeated an ally. So that seems pretty, right, makes sense with Super Saiyan Goku. And it's just this part that's just kind of interesting. Increases target detection on the target as well. I don't know. We'll have to see how that one works. But the concept kind of helps explain it a little bit better. So use Kaioken to power up your active skills. Overwhelm any opponent with your heightened strength. Interesting. So Kaioken will power up your active skills. So each character, I imagine, will probably get 1 to 3 skills. I know in other kits, it looks like it explained it a little bit better. And so certain characters will probably get like, it's going to be certain active skills for that class kind of, right? There might be like for a tank, boost your defense, right? Or boost allies defense, stuff like that. We'll have to see it. We'll definitely look into it and see how this works. But for Goku, it looks like Kaioken to power up active skills. That's kind of his thing with Violent Rage. And then it says transform Super Saiyan, requirement level 7 and up. This is interesting. So in these MOBA games, at least Pokemon Unite, in Pokemon Unite, a same concept where like, you know, your Pokemon evolves after a certain level, just like it does in a normal game. And so it looks like for this, Goku will go into Super Saiyan when he hits level 7. So probably once you kill enough enemies or you kill enough of the, I might have to go back and watch it later, but there's probably going to be just regular enemies that you can just kill in the map too. And so, right, it's just ways to farm up your level and raise level during the matches, because that's how this works. You gain levels while you're playing the actual matches. And so it looks like at level 7 and higher, he then gets Super Saiyan. So that's how that transformation is going to work. And I imagine it's when he dies, and in the game's trailer, it's like revive, get KO'd, come back stronger, whatever. So that's probably how that works. You hit level 7, you probably die, but then you come back as Super Saiyan. It's my thought process, at least. All right, let's jump up. Let's see. This is just talking about the test. All right, let's go into Krillin here. So Krillin's going to be a technical character. You can see how he differs from Goku, where Goku's was focused on doing more damage and whatnot. It says passive technician. Place a mark on an enemy to immediately lower the cooldown on your abilities. Interesting. Interesting. So he's going to be able to put a mark on an enemy, which makes sense because he's technical. So he's going to be probably doing things that like helps, you know, the team or helps your abilities, and putting a mark on an enemy probably just helps to like, you know, hey, maybe this is a, you know, a target to worry about, someone to worry about. Maybe they have a Dragon Ball, but I mean, it puts a mark on them, but it helps lower the cooldown on your abilities. His concept is make use of your strong traps and diversions, then finish off the debuffed enemy with a destructive disc. So probably one of his skills is the destructive disc, while the other ones are setting up traps and then making diversions of kinds. Who knows? Interesting. Okay, that's cool. I like that. Again, you'll have to learn more about the skills when the game is like, when the actual playtest is live. That's going to be the only way we get to see the actual active skills. I guess this is more so just giving you just a little brief kind of glimpse of what the character will be able to do. So he's going to be able to place a mark on an enemy, and it's going to lower your cooldown at the same time. So that's going to be good. I mean, you're obviously going to want to have characters that can like lower cooldown and dish out more active skills. And, you know, it depends on the character themselves, like, you know, how good that active skill is going to really be. But okay, he sounds good so far. Like that. Again, that's what makes him different from Goku, whereas Goku's all about like dealing damage, right? You're going to want to be crafty and be smart with how you're using Krillin. But obviously, it's going to be good to have in a team that maybe has like a Goku and like a Piccolo, for example, which is the next one. He's not a damage dealing character here. So let's check this one out. No transformation, similar to Krillin, no transformation, no nothing. But he has a passive ready for victory. Use a rush attack on an enemy to immediately lower the cooldown on your abilities. Concept is saying all rush attacks and active skills have super long range. So he's probably going to be able to hit from like deep. The power of Special Beam Cannon increases the longer you charge it. Oh wow, so they're going to even have moves that you can like even charge to deal more damage. Interesting. This is all rush attacks with and active skills have a long super range. Probably again thanks to his passive ability. His passive ability is use a rush attack on an enemy to immediately lower the cooldown on your abilities. Yeah, that's really good. Again, he's damaged, so it is going to be about like spamming regular base attacks, but also spamming those active skills. And so that makes sense. We don't know much about rush attacks yet, right? That's just something that like I feel like is in typical Dragon Ball games. So we'll have to learn, I guess, more about that, how that works. Whether that's just like, you know, again, just getting from far away and just being able to rush into an enemy. That makes sense. And then with Piccolo in this case, you know, maybe he gets to go even further with it, which is pretty cool, which would make sense, you know. Okay, cool. That's more about Piccolo. And again, we don't know the active skills really, so we're like, at least we know one of them will probably going to be the Special Beam Cannon. We don't know the rest yet. All right, let's jump into Zamasu here. He's the first tank one that we're looking at. His passive is going to be body regeneration, which makes sense. Consume the regen gauge to automatically heal life. That's crazy. Let me read that again. Consume the regen gauge to automatically heal life. So there's a regen gauge, okay? Resurrects when KO'd if the gauge is high enough. Interesting. Okay, so yeah, he's going to be able to potentially die and come right back to life like ASAP, which is going to make it harder for, you know, the other players to either grab the Dragon Ball or fight to keep a Dragon Ball, whatever. That makes him really good. In concept, it explains it as body regeneration can bring you back after being knocked out. Use it to stir up chaos in the enemy team's territory. That's an interesting tactic. So each side usually has like a spawn. And so like just going in there with Zamasu and just constantly like, you know, not destroying them, but like stopping and making it hard for them to, you know, get out into the map and everything with full life and whatnot. Could be a tactic. There's so many like tactics and strategies when it comes to like MOBAs. And again, I'm really basing off of my knowledge with Pokemon Unite because that's the one that I recently got into. So this is, you know, I think very more similar to that style of a MOBA. But he sounds good. I mean, this sounds like a crazy combination to just come back to life and then get regen, get life. Yeah, again, that's what makes him good as a tank. So he probably won't be dealing crazy damage, but he's going to be that annoying wall of a character, right? That just makes it annoying for people to have to try to get past and whatnot. So, you know, that's what benefits him, makes him good as a tank. So that's pretty cool. 18 here. She's going to be a damage dealing one. Her passive is Sadistic Rush. If you hit the same enemy hero 4 times in a row, they will become your assault target, boosting your damage against them. Oh, okay, so she's gonna be really good at just repeatedly hitting the same person 4 times in a row at the very least. That way you can get the assault target off, basically. Get that extra damage off. Boost your damage against a targeted enemy with Sadistic Rush. Hunt down the enemy team one by one. Damn, she's gonna be nasty. I can't wait to see the rest of her skills. Curious what moves she's gonna have and stuff, so that sounds pretty cool. Pretty straightforward. I feel like the damage dealing units are pretty straightforward, at least for now, right? Until you start getting to the more complicated ones, and I think that's just kind of how these games work. Like, you know, for the most part, it'll be pretty, you know, pretty straightforward. Like, oh, he's gonna do this and blah blah blah. But you might get to a point where it's like some damage dealing units maybe have some like cool tanky perks, right? And it gets kind of complex at that point. But for now, it's pretty straightforward. Let's see, Super Saiyan Trunks. He's gonna also be a damage dealing unit. That makes sense for him. I mean, I could have also seen him do more of like a technical thing too, but I mean, I'm glad he's going to be a damage dealing. Let's see, he has a couple. Okay, so he has a transformation obviously because he's Super Saiyan. So it seems like Super Saiyan is always going to be level 7 and up, it looks like. That might be like the standard for Super Saiyan, whereas like I said, Super Saiyan God, for example, that could be like level 14 or something, right? Or 15 or 16. It could be dependent on stuff like that. So that I'm glad that they you know, that they're kind of doing like that, because I only could imagine how much stronger they get when they obviously transform. So we'll have to see, right, how that looks and how that goes when the game is actually being played. But let's read this passive. Overcharge. Get a KO or an assist on a God of Destruction. Okay, they did show in the trailer other, like, it showed the one God of Destruction. Interesting. I guess that maybe the God of Destructions are also the other, like, enemies that you can kind of fight besides, like, the actual other players from the other team. Like I said, there's going to be like other enemies and whatnot like in the game that you can, like during the matches, that you can kill or beat to level up, right? It's not going to be just going against the enemy team. I mean, that's the main part of it, but I mean, you're going to want to like level up, and so there'll be stuff like that. So I guess you could probably take out God of Destructions, which is pretty interesting. It says get a KO or even an assist on a God of Destruction or an enemy's hero, a boss or a super boss. So there's going to be bosses and super bosses in the maps as well, which is pretty neat. To immediately reset the cooldown on your 3 active skills. Okay, so this is, I remember seeing this before where there's 3 active skills. So I guess each character will probably have 3 active skills. And for Trunks, it's pretty crazy. As long as you assist or KO one of the following, which seems like those are probably like main enemies, you know, besides the actual like enemy hero that you're gonna be fighting. As long as you assist or obviously get the KO, you'll immediately reset the cooldown on your 3 active skills. That's going to be good. That's going to be good. So his concept in general, it's continuously launch active skills with overcharge. Take down enemies with hit and run tactics. That sounds about right, dude. Yeah, he sounds like he's going to be really good. He might be my preferred so far damage unit that I want to use. Because out of everybody else, I guess between the damage dealing units, Piccolo and Goku, I'm kind of more aligned with him. Actually, and 18 too. She seems really good too. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go. We got Pooh. Let's see. He's going to be a technical. I would have thought he might be a tank. Interesting. Okay. His passive is Majin Menace. When healing yourself or an ally, so he's going to have healing active skills, it looks like. When healing yourself or an ally, or debuffing an enemy hero, so he'll probably have a move, an active skill for healing, and an active skill that probably debuffs. Consume acquired stocks to boost the damage of your rush attacks. So every character is going to have a rush attack. I think that's safe to say at this point. So everybody gets a rush attack. And then Boo seems like he's going to have a bit of everything. Debuffing, healing, and then he can up the damage of his rush attacks. Let me see. His concept says turn enemy heroes into a tasty snack with candy bean. That's probably one of the moves. Use it to restore your and your allies' health. So he's basically a healer. He's gonna be, see, this is where, you know, team comp is pretty important, right? And the thing is, if you're playing with friends, you kind of want to hope that everybody picks a character that makes sense to win together. But he's definitely, like, for now at least, he definitely seems like a character you want to have on your team. Person that could be able to, that can heal both you and your allies, just seems like a really good character to obviously have. But he seems like he's doing a bit of everything, bro. And that's what makes technical characters, I think, fun to use. For me personally, I feel like I might be more of like a technical user and maybe a tank. But or I might be more of a technical with like a DPS. But technical seems to be like my favorite just because they can have a range of different things. And again, they're a technical person, so they don't excel in one thing, but maybe they do a lot of like different things altogether. And it looks like Boo, for example, here is doing like a bunch of different things. So I like that. He's fun. He sounds like a fun character to use. He got freaking Cooler, dude. No way. This is so crazy. Cooler final form. Okay. His passive is called Imperial Retaliation. Jesus Christ. Applies immune to all to self for a short time when activated. So he has, I think that's what the, is that what the move is called? No, I think that's just what he does. So, okay. Applies immune to all to self for a short time when activated. When an enemy hero lands an attack during immune to all. So I think immune to all isn't like, it's an active skill. So basically, when an enemy hero lands an attack during you having activated immune to all, your next skill will be an enhanced retaliation status. Okay, let me see what the concept says here. Use Imperial Retaliation to go for a counter attack. Your powered up active skills will be a cut above the rest. And he's a tank character. Interesting. Which, okay, that's pretty cool. That makes sense. So he's going to be eating these hits, but you want to eat these hits when you activate that immune to all ability, sounds like. Because you're going to just deal a lot of damage afterwards. And it looks like Cooler will be a transforming character. So he'll transform into his final form at level 7. Interesting. I thought it might be slightly higher, but it looks like his is level 7 too. Okay. Interesting. That's just cool that he's just going to be there at the start. I like that. Let's see Gohan. Let's see Gohan Child. He's technical. Okay. This I can see him be technical. I don't imagine him being like, you know, a damage dealing. Maybe like when he's older, but not this version of him. So he's technical here. His passive is Friendship Boost. Stick close to an ally hero for a certain amount of time to gain both a defense boost and a speed boost, as well as grant your ally an attack boost. Oh, so he's all about like buffing, and he buffs himself too. So wow, so he's meant to be played like closely with other characters, like with your other friends or whoever else you're playing with. You want to keep him near another ally because he's gonna get a defense boost and a speed boost, but he's also buffing allies' attack boost. And his concept says 2 warriors are stronger than 1. Strengthen yourself and allies with friendship boost. That's a cool one. He sounds like he definitely would be a good one to have on the team for sure. I will say though, I think at the end of this, I'm going to compose my own team if I could. And I'll give you my thoughts. But so far, I think this Trunks is really good. And this 18 is really good. And I think Boo is really good, obviously. And Zamasu seems really good too. Like, if I had to have an optimal team setup, it would be 1, 2, 3, and 4, literally all together. I think they would be my optimal team so far. But then this is the one that just dropped, I think. Yeah, this is what just dropped, which is Vegeta. 2% Vegeta. He's going to be a tank, yo. My boy's going to be a tank. This is hype, dude. Let's see. Passive. Prince's Pride. When below 50% health, gain a shortened cooldown effect, which means he's probably going to be able to bust out his active skills really quick for a limited amount of time, I imagine. 2% transformation, right? Level 7 up. That's still the same. Let's read the concept. Keep hitting an enemy with active skills, right, to boost your endurance. Brother, what are his active skills to boost your endurance? Interesting. Push your enemies around with forced movement. Nah, bro. See, this is what I'm saying. We need to start seeing these active skills. I'm curious. I can't wait till this game, this like regional beta starts up. I hope I'm in right away because I do want to, like, you know, try to jump on the content like as soon as possible with this. So I do want to see his active skills. I'm curious to see what else it does, but he seems like fun too. But I'm not gonna lie to you, that sounds good. But again, if you're looking to run with your friends an optimal team for victory so far with the characters that we see here, I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I think Boo, and then go for 2 damages. Go for 2 damage dealing people. So a Trunks and a 18. And then Zamasu. That just seems like a killer team right now, right? Because Trunks does really good damage, right? Constantly throwing out his active skills. And then it's not even just based off of a KO. An assist, too, will give him his ability. So, like, that just seems like he's, you know, as long as he's playing with his teams and, like, you know, getting those assists off, you're just gonna be chucking out active attacks. 18, right? She's just gonna be targeting, zeroing in on like one enemy at a time, or one enemy hero. I should specify that is enemy hero. Good to know. Good to know. Good to know. I didn't think about that. That is enemy hero based. You might be able to toss her out for somebody. Now that I'm reading that, you might be able to toss her out for somebody else. It's just because Trunks is so good because it's multiple way. Bro, I think I just had a bug. I think I just had a bug on me, bro. That's bro. Anyways, like I said, besides the fact that I just had a bug on me, Trunks is gonna be good to have. I do think 18 here can switch up. I think 18 could be a different character. So have fun mixing and matching these teams. But I will say at least Trunks is good, Boo is good, and then I would say Zamasu is definitely good to have. But yeah, guys, these are the characters so far, and those are the roles. So far we have tank, technical, and damage. That seems to be the main three. I don't know if they'll incorporate more later. I'm not too sure MOBAs really do that, but those are definitely the main three right there. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, any comments, just drop it in the YouTube comment. Yeah, if you liked the video, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. We are going to be covering a lot of this game, so just keep that in mind. If you're looking for more creators that are be talking about this and all the updates, subscribe right here. I'm Lethal and Up though, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Goodbye.